12s, I got a challenge for you. You want us to go live for the Seahawks' first preseason game next week against the Las Vegas Raiders? The bosses say that we got to get 1,000 likes on today's video, something we have not done for the entire month of July. So if you would like our first watch party of the year, you already know what to do. Smash that thumbs up icon, and we'll get started with this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. I have good news and I have bad news. Welcome in to Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones, fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. We got a lot to cover here on today's show. Do you want the good news first or do you want the bad news? Well, I'm choosing for you. Let's start with the bad news and get that out of the way. We begin with Charles Cross, as according to a new report from NFL Network's Ian Rapoport, he underwent surgery for a dislocated finger. Here are the details from Rap Sheet coming out just a few moments ago. Seahawks standout offensive tackle Charles Cross underwent successful surgery to repair a dislocated finger in Los Angeles, and the expectation is that he'll be ready for the regular season, sources say. Cross has practiced with it, but it took the opportunity to fix it during the preseason window. So this isn't ideal that he had this dislocated finger and that he is going to have to recover from this surgery, but at least it is getting taken care of. The timing of it, I wish, would have been when there wasn't something going on, training camp, preseason, and all that taken care of. But at least we are getting this all figured out before the season begins, and that he should be fully okay when this thing officially gets started here for the Seattle Seahawks. And, you look at these situations, and it's kind of a sigh of relief, right? You rather go ahead and get this out of the way and make sure he's A-okay and good to go. So that, to me, is a good thing as far as that goes. And my one-word reaction to all this, I am still a bit concerned when it comes to this situation, because this was not something that we had a whole lot of information on before. And now you have to think, okay, did everything go right? Is this something that could happen again, could linger on? Is there going to be any setbacks, anything like that? That I would put it this way, proceed with caution here with this situation, but hopefully things are okay. So that's my one-word reaction. Sound off in the comment section on our pinned comment today. What is your one-word reaction to the Charles Cross injury news? You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Weigh in and give me your one word and let us know what that is. All right, now let's get to some good news. We're going to start with Kenneth Walker III, and then we're going to talk about John Schneider coming up later on. K9 says he's feeling healthy and fresh at training camp. And if you go back to the very first training camp practice, one of the things we talked about on this show was how good K9 looked coming out of the gates, that he was firing immediately for this Seahawks team after missing much of the offseason program, recovering from injury. This was a big training camp for Kenneth Walker III to really show up and show out with two things: that not only that he's fully healthy, but that he is also capable of getting the job done, that he can consistently be out there and play at a high level. And so far, he's been able to show that. And what K9 has been able to do, one reason, or multiple reasons for that matter, that he's taken these steps in the right direction, is that he's kind of changed several of his habits at the recommendation of his father, Ken Walker II. Check this out. The resurgence of K9. What is he doing differently? Well, he's made changes to his diet and his sleeping habits. He's eating more meals at the team facility, and the reason why he's doing that is he's working with the team nutritionists and the staff to find more of those cleaner meals, those cleaner diets, that they have hands-on abilities to be able to help K9 find what's right for him to make his body feel better. He's a little older now, and he's going to bed earlier, believe it or not. He was a guy that was going to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. which is usually about the time I go to bed personally, sometime between 12:30 and 1. Now he's going to bed between 10 and 10:30, and as a result, he says he's getting some more sleep out of it, that he's getting a few extra hours of sleep with this of going to bed earlier and shutting things down. Sign of getting older, right? You go to bed a little earlier. He's also getting extra recovery work at home as well. And he says that his legs are fresher than what they've been in the past, that the results are showing up for K9 with the changes he's made to his diet and his sleeping habits, that he feels the best that he's ever felt at this point. And he's been, as a result, a full go at training camp, that the injury issues have not been a problem, that he is 100% healthy, and that these changes in his sleeping and diet habits are paying off. And the assignment for him, according to offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak, that we're going to tell you more about and let you hear from Kubiak in just a moment, is that the hesitation that he has shown in his running style, that must come to an end, that he has to change the way that he runs. And we've seen that Kenneth Walker III in his career, one of the things that he's been kind of modeled his game after is Le'Veon Bell, the former Pittsburgh Steelers running back, who that was his calling card, was his hesitation, and he ended up having a very good career. And for Kenneth Walker III, that's been kind of a strength of his, is that vision he's shown to be able to kind of pause for a second or two and figure out where he needs to go. Well, in Clint Kubiak's offense, he's saying, we're not doing that anymore. You got to change your style of running. And I know that might alarm some people to hear that initially, but when you hear Clint Kubiak break down why exactly he feels this way, it'll make more sense. We'll show you here in just a moment. But first, want to make sure you're subscribed to Seattle Seahawks Today. We're talking the latest Seahawks news, rumors, injury updates. We're doing live shows 3 days a week here on the channel. We are your off-season headquarters here on Seattle Seahawks Today, and we're not slowing down by any stretch as we continue with training camp. We're also covering everything you need to know when it comes to potential trades and free agent signings. Seahawks have a lot of cap space to work with here. What are they potentially going to do? We're going to talk about all of it here on the channel. Let's get at least 20 subs here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free. Turn on notifications. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. All right, here is what Kubiak had to say on what he has assigned Kenneth Walker III. I think Ken could fit in just about any style. He's a talented player, so I'm really excited about him in this zone scheme. But I've seen Ken in all schemes play really good football. I've seen the guy catch the ball well out of the backfield, which I think is really important for our backs, that we utilize them. Kubiak goes on to say, obviously, whatever we can do to get him touches, throwing him routes out of the backfield, throwing him screens, get the ball in the air, looking forward to him in this scheme. And for Kenneth Walker, I know he's having to change his running ability a little bit. They're trying to get the hesitation out of him. But this run scheme is what they call an outside zone rushing scheme. And for Kenneth Walker's capabilities, this is the perfect timing for this outside zone rushing attack to be installed. I think at the end of the day, this is going to bode well for Kenneth Walker to shine within this offense with what he is able to do. And he's not the only one that has a big assignment here when it comes to changing up things. The offensive line as a whole, from Charles Cross to Gray Zabel, Olu, Bradford Haynes, Lucas, what they have been told to do, a big theme throughout training camp to this point, from both Kubiak and from Mike McDonald, is they want to run off the ball. That is their big theme of sorts, that they're telling these offensive linemen, we want to run off the ball in this outside zone rushing attack. And I think for Kenneth Walker III, this is his time to shine. We know it's a contract year. One of the things he talked about yesterday was that, hey, I'm not worried about the contract. There's not any discussions going on and all that. I'm just trying to do my job and prove myself. And if you're Kenneth Walker III, you go out there and you have a big year this year, then you're going to make this decision easy for Seattle to give you that money you're looking for. It's ultimately up to K9 to figure this out. And we know the talent's there, right? Former second-round pick, all-rookie team selection, over 1,000 yards He's led Seattle in rushing multiple times, but it's the injuries that have everybody concerned. He's missed 10 total games over the last 3 seasons due to those injuries that he's suffered. And you look at these statistics, they've gone down every year that he's been here. You go back to 2022, his rookie season, he played in 15 games, had over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4.6 yards a carry. There was a lot of reason to be optimistic about what he was doing, right? And then in 2023, in the same amount of games played, his numbers went down slightly. They weren't bad. 905 yards, 4.1 yards a carry, 8 touchdowns. And then last year, missed more time than he's missed in his entire career, and every statistic was down. Carries, yards per carry, and 7 touchdowns. I personally believe that if K9 stays healthy, the version that we saw of him in his rookie season has not gone away, okay? With an improved offensive line, which I believe we are going to see, and a healthy Kenneth Walker III, I think that we have every reason to believe that the best version of Kenneth Walker III is still to come at this point in time. Do you believe in Kenneth Walker III? How we feeling, 12? So you got 2 options here. Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in and tell us what you think. News coming out yesterday that General Manager John Schneider has agreed to an extension through 2031 to remain as the general manager of the Seattle Seahawks, a position that he's held all the way dating back to 2010. That news, of course, coming from Fox Sports' Jay Glazer, who put this post out on X. Scoopage in Seattle. The Seahawks have given John Schneider a 4-year extension, keeping their president of football operations and GM through the 2030 draft. And then we actually got more details from the release from Seattle that's actually 2031. This will take him through at least his 20th draft with the organization at NFL on Fox. And so then you think, okay, you know, whether you like Schneider or not, and that's a whole nother conversation we'll talk about here in just a second, all right? What you can't take away is that there is stability with this organization. And I think that's very good news. That's a very good thing that we're not talking about shaky grounds right now. You have a general manager that has won a Super Bowl, that's been there and done that before, that has a proven track record. Even if you aren't liking what you've seen recently, the track record is still there. You have an ownership in Jody Allen who is invested, is a diehard football fan that's very active within this organization, and you have an emerging young head coach in Mike Macdonald here. As the kids would say, the vibes are good right now. And in these organizations, you want a 3-headed monster, right? Good ownership, good GM, good head coach. And those 3 things, for now, are stable and not an issue. They have those figured out, and that is a big positive for this team and where they're going forward from here. This second year beyond Pete Carroll, the stability is there, and that's a very good thing. John Schneider spoke publicly for the first time yesterday about his extension in an interview with Seattle Sports at Seahawks Training Camp. He kept things pretty brief. He said, very blessed, very grateful for Jody Allen and the trust she's put in myself and Coach Mike Macdonald, and yeah, excited to keep this thing rocking. One of the things Schneider also talked about was that with Jody as the owner, his boss, he can take the heat from Jody. That Jody's a strong woman, and he's not afraid to be held accountable by her and the way that she leads this organization, that he's going to follow and he's going to take good feedback, that they have a very good relationship. And I'm being totally frank, being totally honest with you folks here. You can't say that about every organization where the owner, the GM, and the head coach are on the same page. Maybe you don't like John Schneider. Maybe you don't like Jody Allen or even Mike Macdonald for that matter. But I think we can all agree the stability, the fact that everybody's on the same page is a very good thing. They are a tight group, and that means something. That's very important, my friends, that they're on the same page here. More on John Schneider in just a moment, but first let's ask you, what's your confidence level in the Seahawks front office? With John Schneider leading the charge with that group, how you feeling about things at the top of the organization? Scale it for me 1 through 10 in the comments section below. We got an insane deal we're offering right now, folks. These Seahawks cutoff hoodies are on sale now. They were $55. Now they're just $33. You can get yours now at chatsports.com/Seahawks sale is where you can find these. And we have all sorts of different shapes and sizes available for you. I know it may be a little warm outside right now, but if you get this, you'll be thanking yourself later down the line as you're going to be rocking with your hawk out with this thing. You're going to enjoy it. Chatsports.com/Seahawks sale to get yours today. We also have other Seahawks merchandise available at that same link. Go get yours now. Chatsports.com/Seahawks sale to get yours today. All right, so Jody Allen, in a statement, the owner of the Seattle Seahawks, said this about the extension for John Schneider. The extension of General Manager John Schneider's contract is a testament to his 15-plus years of football leadership and success. I am confident that John will continue to deliver real results and continued strong partnership with head coach Mike Macdonald that is already contributing to our winning culture on and off the field. Now, listen, folks, I understand the frustrations that many of you have when it comes to John Schneider. Your voice is being heard loud and clear when it comes to some of the decisions that he's made. But, you know, the offensive line, I understand that has been a problem that has not gotten better over the years. I think it's better now, but it's still a major question mark, and the number one person to point to is John Schneider. But at the end of the day, it could be a whole lot worse, okay? Is John Schneider the best GM in football? Is he a top 5 GM? No and no, okay? But John Schneider, at the end of the day, his resume speaks for itself. There's still a whole lot more good than there is bad with what he's done. This team has been a consistent winning team with the decisions he's made. He's far from perfect. He has made a lot of mistakes. I think we can humbly admit that. But there's still been more good than bad. They have been a consistent team, winning a lot of football games over the years, competing for playoff spots. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to a couple Super Bowls as well. I think he made the right hire when it came to the head coach. They've drafted well as of late. So I would say give John the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how this year goes, how the offensive line holds up, and then we can have a discussion potentially about his future down the line. But I think that for now, he's earned this chance to see this thing through and where this goes from here. The stability is there. Now let's see if it ultimately pays off or not. If you enjoyed today's show, hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on Seattle Seahawks Today.